Hey there, and welcome back to the Virtual Cafe for another coffee convo about business finances. I'm your host, Kerry Zarb, and I am joined by Kim White. We invite you to join us at our table with your favourite brew. Let's pull up our chairs and get into today's episode. Come on, let's go. It's coffee time.
Hey, Kim.
Hey, Kerry.
How are you?
Kerry, how are you?
Not bad for episode whatever we're up to. Don't even ask me the number. I'm losing count, Kim. I'm losing count of all the episodes. There's so many great conversations that we have. Oh, it's exciting.
Bazillion plus 3, Kerry. That's what the number is.
Oh, let's go for that. Awesome. So whoever's tuning in right now, you know what the number is. Well, hopefully. Let's talk about that for a second, Kim, can we? Before we get stuck into this awesome conversation, and it's going to be a quick one, by the way, Apple Podcasts on my side of the world have dropped the numbers. And on your side of the world, Kim, did they drop them and pick them up again?
I think they doubled them, Kerry.
Oh, well, we started typing them in because over here we can't see them. And I feel bad. Sometimes we refer back to another episode. If the numbers aren't there, you're not going to know where to go. I don't want to confuse people. Anyway, so just to explain to anyone tuning in, if you're seeing numbers, you're not seeing numbers, I apologise, and hopefully all that stuff rectifies itself shortly. So stand by. So Kim, we've got another exciting conversation that we want to bring to the table here. We want to talk about the perfect setting. We want to talk about why location matters for your business finances.
Oh, I can't wait, Kerry, for this one because I love being in the virtual cafe with you.
Me too, Kim, and guess what? The wait is over. We're going to have this conversation right now, right here in the virtual cafe. So, Kim, what do you think about this topic?
Oh, Kerry, you're coming in hot already asking me questions. I think it's a game changer for me to know I'm going to be in the virtual cafe with you. I think it's a game changer for me to know where, because I tend to put it off with no limit on how long. So I'll get to that, or I'll get to that, or I'll get to that. Well, maybe I will get to that.
So, Kim, what you're saying is you might be kind of hitting a little bit of procrastination station, yeah? I know you like trains, Kim. I know you like trains. So that was very fitting.
That was very fitting, Kerry. And I think when something we don't like, or we don't want to do, or we don't understand, or we're overwhelmed, like the whole list goes on, it's very easy to put it off.
It is, Kim. And can I make a Kerry confession? We're a little bit early in the episode, but I'm going to make a Kerry confession. I put off washing my clothes. I clearly have way too many because, trust me, that's a thing. And it gets to the point where the basket is full or it's on its way to full. Yet I look at it and I go, I'll come back for you. I'll come back for you. And then I get busy doing all the things that I love. Here's the funny thing, Kim. Let's go here for a second. The machine does the work. I just got to grab my little basket, tip it in there, throw in some detergent and press some buttons. It does this cute little jingle, by the way, and walk away, set a timer on my phone, which I do because I forget. Hours later, boss is turning around going, what does he say? He says to me, he brings up a joke about garlic. How do you get garlic or something? Or what does garlic come in or something? And the answer is cloves. Because he wants me to realise, he's so funny, he wants me to realise that my clothes, but he doesn't want to say to me, hey, you forgot your clothes. He wants, it's so funny. Anyway, I digress. But that's a thing that I put off because it's just clothes, anyway. And I agree with you, Kim. There's things I don't love to do in this business. There's not some of the things are just all that. But I think it's interesting when you put it in a special location. And I think there can be some magic to finding the right location. And by the way, this can be your location. It could be the location of where you're putting the things to work on your finances. The choice is yours. When I want to read a book, Kim, I have a special chair in the corner of my office to read a book. I'll confess again, I haven't sat there in a while, because, all that, but that's the place for it. If I want to watch a movie with my husband, or it's suddenly Christmas Day and Boxing Day, we have a tradition for Christmas Day and Boxing Day, we go and sit in our lounge room. That's the only time we sit in that lounge room. I know that sounds wasteful, but it is, for those moments when we want to watch a movie together, we want to have a date night, or it's Christmas Day and Boxing Day and we want to sit down and enjoy our little feast and whatever we choose to watch. That's our special place for that.
Well, here it's called the living room, Kerry. I just want to say that out loud.
Ah, yes. Lounge room, living room, den, whatever you... Yeah, all the spaces. Good point, Kim. But what do you think, Kim? What comes to mind?
So, Kerry, all of these examples you have given make me giggle, in the fact that we do put off things we don't want to do, like laundry. We do have a special place we want to do something that we are excited to go to. And I'm wondering, Kerry, if you have some sort of tip or advice on how we can marry those two things. How can we marry what we don't want to do, but still find some place we like to go, so it makes it not be put off for weeks and weeks?
Kim, such a great question. And let me say this, because I've thought about this, because I don't like to read. So I've had to use that special chair in the special corner of my office with a special lamp so that I want to read. Because for me, I'm not attracted to reading. It's just not my thing. I'm the numbers chick, and you guys know that. So therefore, if I had not have created that space, I will never read. It just will not happen, because there's nothing to entice me there to read. I needed that little space. Now, in a perfect world, I would have a beautiful bay window with the soft cushions and the little sheery curtainy things, and I'd be staring out over the paddocks, and there'd be ducks and like all the stuff in a perfect world. But I don't have that, so I've made the most of making a nice little book nook in the corner. But Kim, I want to actually put out a word of caution, because if I go over there and do things that I really don't like, I mentally decide I'm ready to sit down and read something, and I will go to that corner. That's my special place. If I want to get away from my desk sometimes and I'm on a phone call, I'll go over there and sit in that special place. It's like my little relaxation corner. However, if I did not like business finances, I can't just pick up my whole computer, because I'm on a desktop setting. I can't pick up my whole computer and send it over to the other side of the room, but nor do I want to. Let me tell you why. I love that corner. I love that chair. That is my sacred little space. Boss comes and visits me. He sits there. We have great conversations. That area has good vibes. If I hate business finances and I take them to that corner, it could be ruined. So I would have to make a really kind of executive decision and do a little bit of thought about where I would want to take my business finances so that it is enjoyable. It's not a chore. It's less of a chore, I should say. However, think carefully. It's like, do you know what comes to mind, Kim? It's like when you turn a hobby into a business and you don't love the hobby anymore because you have to do it. Does that make sense, Kim?
It does, Kerry. It absolutely does.
So, Kim, I believe you have weekly finance meetings.
I do, Kerry.
Do you have a special place for it, or do you have something special about it?
I think mine is accountability, Kerry. And I'm going to put air quotes around location, is the accountability that I have with our finance team. If I am not there, then they can't do what they need to do, and I can't do what I need to do. And it doesn't take very long to get really behind. So I think that having the location, and again, air quotes, the location is where I am connecting to them. My other location is when I'm with you, Kerry. Like when I'm here in the virtual cafe, I am concentrating on, learning something from you or figuring out something with you for the finance stuff. So I think those two things, there's accountability location and there's the physical location of the virtual cafe.
And Kim, what I actually heard from that was also, and this is maybe what you meant, but I've heard it and translated it, so correct me if I'm wrong here. So you kind of hinted towards a little bit of a mental location in our mind. So we don't have to physically move, because I'm glad you said that, because I ain't moving from here, Kim. Like, trust me, there's just too many good things at my desk. But if we put ourselves in the mindset of shifting gears, perhaps even, maybe it's not even that we need to picture the beach and the palm trees and we're sipping cocktails or anything like that, but it's a shift in the mindset of this is what I'm working on. Kim, I don't know about you, and I'm sure we've had this conversation in this space or other spaces where sometimes we need to minimize everything and just have the one window open, and that can be a shifted location as well.
Kerry, I can't do anything else when I'm doing it or I mess up. It's kind of like you and I have talked about when we're writing something, even an email. If there's words on music, I'm writing whatever I'm singing versus writing what I'm intending to write. So I have to make sure that I have location, like you said, mentally, where everything's cleared out and I can do just that. I don't let things interrupt it. I don't miss those meetings. I do have to shift them occasionally, but that is so rarely. I am pretty faithful, and I think that's the part that didn't come easy for me. It started out, I really just didn't want to do it. I would put it off and put it off. But I think that's the game changer, is knowing that, you know what, this time, this is what I'm going to be thinking about. This place, because there's going to be other people that are there that I'm accountable with. And then physically being with you, Kerry, in the virtual cafe gives me the space every single week to make sure that I am showing up for what I need to be. And boy, do I have a long way to go, Kerry. I'm just saying that.
Me too, Kim. Absolutely, me too. And thank you for bringing those couple of points to the table, because you've reminded me of, I've got planned a future episode. You and I are going to have a conversation about the music while we work on the business finances. So just putting that little teaser out there, people. Watch out, it is coming to you soon. And Kim, you've just reminded me about Sally Sunshine. Sally Sunshine was not only a fictional client, but she was also a location. By putting that block of time for my business to work on my business, which we can do for our finances. Kim, you might have Betty Ford for your business finances.
I see somebody in history, Kerry. Yes.
Yeah.
I will say this, Kerry, whenever you were thinking about naming something, name it, like name whatever that space is it takes a different way of thinking about it. It helps you not cancel. I don't know why we cancel on ourselves a lot, but that seems to be a pattern with a lot of people, Kerry, that we won't take it serious if it's us.
Oh, Kim, I hear you. That's why Sally Sunshine was created, because I needed to take it serious and I wanted to dedicate the time. And saw just the other day on social media about the yes but versus yes and conversation. So that was something else that flew past me in a unicorn fashion in the past week. But Kim, you bring up something pretty amazing with that, because we don't need to cancel ourselves out. We're all looking for other things to do when it's something that we're not comfortable with, and we're all looking for, but I actually need to go and do this. So those little buts, those little cancels, those little diversions, and those things that we do to ourselves, even just mentally, nasty.
So, Kerry, I'm going to mention, too, that the 2-hour window that you do the Biz Beans Club every month, that's also another place that I make sure I show up and I ask the questions I get stuck on, or I bring my stuff with me, because I have brought, bank statements or whatever I needed to. Nobody else sees it in the club, but it gives me that space of doing it on the spot and being able to ask a question if I get stuck on something. Because honestly, Kerry, this is not something I was brought up knowing how to do. I had no idea how to deal with my finances growing up, and I've made a mess. My whole lifetime, I've made a mess out of finances. So I feel like saying that out loud and saying that those are my spaces that help me. They change things for me. It's really important.
Well, Kim, I love accountability, and I know not everybody does. Not everybody's comfortable. Some people think it's a little bit of a scary word and a little bit ugly and a little bit, someone's going to tell me what to do. Like, what is this? But I think it does work because there's many spaces that you and I share and spaces that I turn up to with you for my own accountability. Many in the multiples. It's amazing how much we can come together as a community and be accountable. And sometimes that might just be one other person. It might just be a biz buddy that you're spending time with. And I know we've spoken about that in a previous episode. So Kim, I don't want to keep going with this one because I don't want to keep, piling on all the things and overwhelming people because it's always about the simple. Any last words, Kim?
So, Kerry, I'm taking what you said and I'm just going to say, putting a date on the calendar for wherever the location mentally you're going to go, naming it something different like you suggested, and making sure that you are being faithful to that. I think those are great pieces of advice, Kerry, because I know for me, it has changed a lot of procrastination station visits.
Choo-choo.
Exactly.
Well, Kim, thank you because you helped me pull that advice together. Many of those pieces came from yourself as well. And for anyone tuning in that may hang out with us in the future in the Biz Beans Club and the Virtual Cafe, Kim is there. She is my US translator for all things finances. However, we do it together because neither one of us are at that level where we know everything. We never proclaim to have all the answers. But if you're looking for some questions to be answered and some support and some biz buddies and some beanie buddies and all those kind of things, that's where we hang out. So Kim, thank you for being with me today in the Virtual Cafe.
Thank you, Kerry, and I'll see you next week.
See you next week, Kim. Bye.
Thanks for joining us in the Virtual Cafe. You can follow the show to be notified of future episodes, and if you're enjoying this podcast, we encourage you to leave a rating or personal review. Until next time, happy Biz Beans to you. No beans were harmed during the production of this podcast. Information contained in this podcast should be taken as general advice only, and your personal circumstances have not been taken into account. It is recommended that you seek financial advice from a professional who is licensed to do so. If you choose to act upon the general advice shared, you do so at your own risk.